What's up, everybody? This is Jesse. You're watching Comic Conversation. I'm here, of course, with Chris and Edwin. Justin will be right on cue. There he is. He's joining us now, episode 64. We have a few things to talk about tonight, and actually some things that broke hard and fast today. There was quite a few announcements that came out today, so we'll break those down for you. We'll unpack all of that, and what we'll do is actually we have a couple announcements to go over. So we'll be talking about those. I guess we can do that at the top of the show, relating to the show itself. But also what we're going to do, because this is next week, obviously, is Thanksgiving, big holiday break for everybody. A lot of people are going to be off. So this is our unofficially official Thanksgiving episode. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody. So what we're going to do is invite y'all to our table here on the panel. I'm going to be putting in a few minutes the link to the show in the chat. So you'll be able to come on here with us, talk some comics, let people know who you are, your YouTube, where to find you, and just kind of, hang out with us as well and say Happy Turkey Day. So that'll be coming up in a few minutes. Pretty cool. I hope I don't regret it, but we're gonna be doing we're gonna be doing that. So, and thank you guys for joining us too. I know that this is kind of a big start, especially tonight into the weekend with the Justice League movie out. So, it's cool of you guys to be with us instead of out at opening night, early night, Thursday night. So, we'll be touching on all that. And actually, this is a really busy weekend. There's Justice League, Punisher, local comic shop day, Justice League Day, actually, I believe is Saturday, and also if you're into video games, Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront 2 comes out this weekend. So the 17th, actually, which is what, tomorrow? Jeez. Tomorrow, yeah. So big weekend all around. Anyways, let's give some shout outs and then we'll get into some updates on what we've been doing for the week. Jason Smith, I know he was the first one here with us, so nice to have you here with us, Mr. USPS, Mr. Postal. Iron Galactus is here as well. NES Master, Comically Flawed, what's up? We also have Scotty Showman. He says that it is his first time catching the show, so nice to have you with us. We appreciate you stopping by. NES Master. I said that. Yeah. Hey, Scott. Mr. Spider 336. Sup to you as well, man. And it looks like we have quite a few, people have already been here. Steven Oates is here as well. I see Chris Lorenzo, and we'll be shouting people out throughout the show. And again, I'll put the invite link in there in a few minutes, and you guys can pop on with us. One thing I did want to do, actually, and I had to change it. I was gonna. For a good reason. Gomez just got here as well. Gomez Comic Collector. Yeah. I was going to promote the Kickstarter for Brant. He's part of Comic Frontline. He's has a Kickstarter going for a new book, through his Last Ember Press publishing company. I was going to promote that and say, hey guys, you should, be part of this, participate, help this, this vision get realized. But great news is that it actually got 100% funded. I believe that was today. Yep. So, yeah, right? So instead of saying help them out, y'all, I get to say congratulations to Brant, congratulations to Comic Frontline, congratulations to everybody who was involved in that project for that getting 100% funded, and then now they can move forward with the project. So that, to me, that's awesome. That's, one of our people who had this project, this dream that they wanted to realize, and it's happening. So that's super cool. So instead of saying, so I got to change a little bit and say, help them out to yay. So also now is a good time. It's fully funded, everybody. It's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So if you want it, now's a good time to go ahead and throw your money in. You're guaranteed to get it now. Exactly. There's a lot of tiers for it, meaning, contribution levels. So, at this point, if you do $10 or something, you're guaranteed to get a copy. Whatever it is, for whatever level you do, pretty much guaranteed to get whatever that level includes, whether it's prints, whether it's, a copy, the digital copies, the PDFs, you'll get it. I'll throw a link in there for everybody. Yeah.
I thought you said tears. I was like, blood, sweat, and tears went into this?
No, TIERS. Not TEARS. Yeah. There you go. Okay, so we put the link in there. It's the Kickstarter project in there. Cool.
There may be tears. Who knows?
I'm sure there were tears involved. You know, these things that are so worth realizing sometimes involve hardship. So
that's right.
Makes it all the sweeter when you get to the
Lots
the
of
end
sacrifice.
zone. Yeah, exactly. All right. So what have you guys been up to this week? You want to start with Justin? How have you been since we got together last?
Oh, just talking about comics and opening comic boxes and things of that sort. Yeah. Just trying to figure out like when I'm gonna be able to go see Justice League. It may be like Monday because I'm gonna be out of town this weekend. But
Going to the lake?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Gonna go hang out and eat a whole bunch of good food. We'll be back in time for the Sunday auction of doom.
That's right.
But yeah, just picking up books, been reading some stuff. Excited to talk about this Batman Who Laughs issue that we read this week. That's going to be fun. So yeah, just a lot of fun stuff going on.
Sweet. What was I going to ask you? I was going to ask you something.
No, you can't have my Gotham City Sirens #1.
Okay, fair enough. It's not going to be in the auction, is it?
No,
Oh,
that
okay.
one's.
I would have been on it. Okay. All right. Let's kick it over to Edwin. How you been?
Good. If I can share my screen real quick. Just getting everybody a quick reminder, still doing pressing. Got 2 orders in this week, which has been pretty awesome. People are continuously sending me books to press. Happy to do it. It's absolutely wonderful. And I love hearing people's feedback after they get their books back. So that's always super cool. And then Sunday. Affordable auction #9. I will be doing one more after this one, #10, and then I'm going to be done for the year. I probably won't even do another one until March. I'll just sit around and bid in everybody else's auctions because they're starting to pop up now, which is kind of cool to see that whole trend coming into play. But 2 panel members will be joining me, Justin, Exile State Comics, as well as Jesse, JLS Comics will be joining me, trying to slang some comics. I'm going to do like a pre-show at 5:30, but we'll hopefully officially get it kicked off at 6. So if anybody's interested, check us out. And then go to my Instagram. I've already been posting stuff up on what's going to be in the auction. And I'm going to be doing that for the next 4 days. So check that out so you guys can get an idea. Because people are hitting me up like, hey, man, what are you going to have in the auction? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, just go over to my Instagram because you can check everything out there and get an idea on what it is that you may or may not be interested in. But other than that, let me unshare my screen real quick. Other than that, not a lot, just pressing, and more pressing. And that's about it, guys. That's about it. Getting ready for the holidays and drinking some coffee and just ready to talk some comics.
Sweet. All right, cool. All right, Mr. Chris. What's happening up in there in Beantown?
Well, just work, things like that. Just pretty much hanging out with my daughter. Just looking for different comics, trying to see, getting my list together for next year for the 2018 top 10 comics, and trying to wrap up the remaining books I have on my list for this year. But that's pretty much been it. And then I just try to organize my collection, which was it's just like when you haven't done a big organization in a while, you find out real quickly. It's like, damn, it's more than you thought it was going to be. So it's just like, it's been my project for the last basically like 2 weekends, just trying to get everything together and put it all in, and you just figure out where I want everything to go. But just kind of trying to get everything organized and figure some stuff out. So, but just ready to talk comics, have some fun.
Sweet. All right, that's what we're gonna do tonight. All right, cool. So we got NY Warriors in the house as well. We got Big E's and Manny here with us. So cool. like having them here with us. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and throw the link in the chat here, and you guys can feel free to pop on here. What we'll probably do, just so you don't get a little nervous, we're just going to ask you a couple questions. Who are you?
Very intense questions.
Where can we find you? And what's your 5-year plan for your life? No. I don't know.
I got a good one.
Okay. So yeah, so feel free to join us, but we'll get into the topics. We'll just kind of start in with that. The first thing we had on here is about Black Widow. I know that a lot of people have been talking about Black Widow, and she's kind of basically the last like main roster Avenger that hasn't had a movie yet. Yep. So, a lot of people have been like, it'd be cool to have like a kind of like a spy thriller type of thing, sort of like what Sony's planning, I think, to do with the Silver Sable thing, like like a spy versus spy type of thing. So it'd be cool with her, seeing the Red Room, maybe set in the Cold War or whatever. But she hasn't had one yet. Seems like they've been a little bit nervous about making like a female starring movie for whatever reason. But after seeing kind of like the great performance that Wonder Woman did, they're like, okay, maybe we can move forward with this. But there really hasn't been like an official statement from anybody like Kevin Feige or anybody that's really solidly attached to the MCU. But this kind of comes from Stan Lee. We all know who that is. He was talking to I think it was at a panel. It was at in Australia at the Supernova Comic Con, and he was talking about how he would love to see a Black Widow movie. Basically, like they want to do it, but like a movie like that has to be something kind of like serious based on her backstory and just kind of like her history's dark, her character's kind of dark, So how do you make that like a funny thing? Like you couldn't put Taika Waititi on it, the guy that did Ragnarok, and just, I don't know. So that's kind of what they're trying to flesh out at this point. But the news there is that they want to do a Black Widow movie. So my question to you guys is that something that you think that we, and I'm using air quotes here, think that we need? And A, and then B, is that something that you would be kind of excited to see as a Black Widow movie or, ScarJo movie with, with the character? So there you go.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool to get one. I think we already needed to have it. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like it needed to have already come out. I mean, I'd be fine with it still coming out. I would definitely go see it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it would. I don't know. You would almost need to get like a James Bond director or something, and make it an actual like spy movie, and kind of have like a minimal touch on the superhero stuff, really.
Yeah,
I think. But Mr. Spider 336 made a good point. Make it a team up movie, Black Widow and Hawkeye. Hawkeye hadn't got a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say. It's not like she's going to be solo throughout the whole film. I mean, somebody's going to come in and make an appearance.
Right. None of them from here on out are going to be solo movies.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's a specific time period, like period piece type thing, that might be. But anything else going forward, I think they see the value in having multiple heroes, multiple characters in the movie for a bigger draw.
Yeah.
Does her and Hawkeye have a history, like a bit thick history?
Not really.
No,
I mean,
they'd have to.
They have one it started in the Avengers movie.
Yeah, it's just what they've given us. Yeah, in the movie.
Yeah. So they've talked about like kind of bits and pieces of missions that kind of they alluded to like a couple of missions that didn't go so well for them. Things where they had to, I guess, get their hands a little dirtier than what you would initially.
Yeah.
It's easy enough to write a story where she needs to do something and goes to him for help because that's the only person she trusts, And here we go, adventure time,
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
I'm done.
I don't know. I think you could do it. I think it'd be all right, but I don't know if it would be. I don't know if it's necessarily something that you absolutely have to need at this point. I mean, she's in the grand scheme of the Avengers and just the way that she's been in the Marvel universe, she's not a main character really at all. She's kind of just a supporting role. So I mean, to give her an entire movie, it's not a bad idea, and it would be, it would be kind of cool. But I wonder if it would be kind of like, kind of like how Justin said, like it needed to already be out. It's almost like backtracking, especially when, they're looking to make, newer Avengers, just kind of continue with the team. What would you think is going to happen?
Or how long is she signed on to play that character?
Exactly. Like, what would you think is going to happen? Like with that team, is she going to stay on, completely for that?
She's been doing almost 11 years now.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? She could be completely happy with the part and just love the experience, and like, this is it. I'm riding it out as long as they'll have me.
Yeah.
The other thing to think of too is this does. That'd have to be like a really grounded movie, street level type of thing, just from the nature of it. And that doesn't really fit with the direction going with the MCU, into the next phase. It's cosmic, and they can be out in space. I don't want to see Black Widow in space. I want to see Black Widow like sniping people from a rooftop type of thing. That's not going to fit with their overall narrative, at least from the way I understand it now.
Well, they've done a good job writing her every time she's had her little moments, like in the first Avengers film where she meets up trying to collect David Banner, and then in the other one where she is, I forget which one it is, where she's tied to the chair and she takes on these, I guess they're Russian mobsters or whatever. So whoever's writing her.
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
Oh, was it the same one? Okay, yeah. They're writing her very, very well. So I could see it happening.
David Banner is a rapper.
I mean, I'm sorry, Bruce. Did I say David Banner? I'm sorry.
David Banner. You're watching the show.
Oh, man. My bad. Well, I just went into a whole different.
You just went back to the 70s TV show.
There we go.
What do you want?
My bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I think honestly, I think that moment in Avengers where she did have the, where she took all those guys out, and then, just those, pretty like, just those pretty quick, takeout moments that she's had. I think that's pretty much been her feature, that she has that, one or two like scenes where she just like, wrecks everybody and then just kind of, goes off and does her thing. And she's more of a, I guess, calming member of the team. So it's just like, I mean, because if you think about it,
she's the hey there big guy. Like she's the guy, she's the lady who's gonna like chill out.
She kind of holds everything together. And like, I mean, even if you look at Civil War, like she talks sense to both Tony and to Cap. She was like, look, man, are you sure you want to do this, Cap? Because this is gonna get bad for you real quick. You know what I mean? And then when she was just like, on the other side of it, when she realized that Tony Stark was getting out of control with his ambitions, she was just like, look, I had to do what I had to do. Sorry. And it's just but you haven't really seen her in a big deal fight scene. I mean, that was the first time you actually saw her do any like sort of fighting since the Avengers. I think just because she was pregnant and everything like that. But
who would her villain be?
It would be actually, it would be cool to see if she actually had Spider-Woman as the villain, because they're both they're both ex-Hydra.
Or you could always do like Madam Hydra.
I think they kind of tried to do that in that Peggy Carter show. I think that they had a Madam Hydra-esque character.
I mean, that's the only one I could think of.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't
know. I would say, you see, it'd have to be, I was thinking like some type of like Russian, like you couldn't do Omega Red. That's X-Men. Like Soviet super soldiers would be something that's kind of like super outdated. I don't know. I kind of feel like she would have to go against a Russian.
Oh, she could fight Madam Mask. I mean, that's all I'm thinking. It would have to be somebody within those. I mean, she couldn't do Viper because Viper is more of an X-Men. The whole Wolverine thing. So she's a Fox character now at this point. But
I can't remember. There were like some like Russian Iron Man guys. She could fight them.
Crimson Dynamo.
Oh yes.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Something like that. She could steal off one of their characters. But I don't know. I mean, that's if you want to go with like a Russian tie-in. Who knows? I mean, I have faith that they would do a good job with the movie,
Yeah.
just based on past
sure they
record.
would.
So
Sure they would. I mean, they wouldn't let it go by the wayside. You know what I mean? It's just like, but I think that I really do think that it's kind of it's a movie that they should have done a few years ago. Now it really, I mean, there's not much I think that she's gonna bring to it at this point. Like, I mean, a Black Widow movie just to kind of flesh out, the team maybe, I guess. But I mean, I mean, the next few or the next Avengers stuff is just going to be mostly about the team, unless you're going with, Black Panther or something like that. So, I think you have a better chance of seeing a straight out Winter Soldier movie than you do a Black Widow movie. I mean,
Jackie O said the villain could be another spy from the Red Room. So that's a good idea, actually. I kind of think when he said that, my first thought was La Femme Nikita. I don't know if you ever saw that, but it was basically like, a assassin training area.
you may have
broke
seen,
off from that. So
you may have seen the American version called Point of No Return.
that's right. And then they made a TV show as well.
Yep.
yeah,
Did
I
you see
remember
that?
the TV show used to come on Raw.
Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that show for a couple of seasons, and then it got a little like, okay, you're stretching here. Kind of like what's that show where they were breaking out of prison?
Prison Break.
Prison Break.
There you go. Like how many times do you need to break out of prison? Like you did it twice. Like people like must really suck if you have to keep breaking out of prison after all these years. So
Brian B mentioned a good one, Taskmaster.
Yeah, that would be good.
One we haven't seen yet.
And that's an Avengers. Avengers, what, 196? So yeah,
195 and 196.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm curious though, because I remember he was rumored to be the villain for Deadpool, the first Deadpool. So I mean, being that it's an Avengers character, they shouldn't have a problem with that. But I just wonder if it was something that maybe they were optioning over to Fox at the time, just kind of a good faith movement.
Now that I haven't heard anything of that.
Well, I mean, he was initially supposed to be the first one, but then they went with Ajax instead. But yeah, I mean, he could be cool, Taskmaster.
Yeah,
but I feel like Taskmaster's more of a. I feel like he's more of a either setup villain or just an Avengers villain in general, just because. I mean, he mimics Hawkeye and Cap and a few other people, a few other different people throughout the universe as far as being, his fighting styles and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Is he a ninja? All right.
So that's just all based off of a soundbite. That's pretty much all we know. Is Stan Lee said that they want to do it at this point. So that's all we know. So all this is speculation. We'll see. If there is one, it's going to be quite a few years down the road. So we got some time to talk about that. So the next thing we were going to chat about here is part of a bigger story that's happening in Hollywood, and actually it's beyond Hollywood now. It's in politics. It's like everywhere. Yeah, I think what's his name? The comedian guy. He just got
Louis C.K.
Yep, there you go. No, there's another one too. He's a governor.
The senator just got.
He's a governor.
Schwarzenegger.
No.
No. You're talking about the dude from Alabama.
Is he the governor? Al Franken. Yeah,
he's a senator.
He's senator. Al Franken. Yeah, he just got in a bunch of trouble for it.
Exactly right. So this is beyond Hollywood now, but pertaining to not only Hollywood but our sort of world here. There's a couple things. George Takei, Star Trek. He's into this. Bryan Singer has been in this for a while. He was kind of one of the OG pervs, like Wave 1 perv. Well, maybe Wave 2 because you had Bill Cosby way back in the day. But then we have Melissa Benoist. She was like speaking out against Andrew Kreisberg, who is attached to the CW's Flash and the Arrow. I think he's EP on there, executive producer. So we had him. Then we had Eddie Berganza, right? The editor who's been there for quite a long time for DC, and apparently a lot of people knew about it, kind of swept it under the rug. Quite a few allegations with him through DC, and they let him go as well. Yep. And then another one, big one, and we could talk about this too, is that Gal Gadot has said that she does not want to return as Wonder Woman for the already confirmed and moved up on the schedule Wonder Woman 2 unless Brett Ratner leaves.
Yep.
Right.
Wow.
So this is quite a story, but that's kind of like two powerhouses, Brett Ratner, and we were talking about this actually. Some of the guys here, Lords of the Long Box, and some of the others, that Brett Ratner has a lot of pull with the company, a lot of influence there. He's attached to a lot of stuff. I'm sure he knows a lot of stuff too. So financially, they're going to lose out on either side of it. But Brett Ratner, I don't know. But on the other side of it, you have Gal Gadot, who's pretty much the face of the DCEU right now. Like, I mean, she, with her movie, she is kind of like arguably the most successful of the properties right now, right? Just based on absolute numbers.
Mhm.
But then you have, if they don't let Brett Ratner go, you'll have people saying, "Oh, well, they support whatever, they support
sexual
groping," right?
harassment,
Yeah, exactly.
misconduct.
Right. So there'll be all these people saying, you know, I can't believe you didn't let Brett Ratner go. We're going to boycott your movies, you know, and and then Gal Gadot leaves, and then it's just a big old mess. So who,
Vicious.
you know, the whole thing is a freaking mess, but just, you know, I don't know where to go with this. I just want to say it's a freaking mess right now.
It is, and the thing with that is that I don't know how close of ties he has with Harvey Weinstein with all this and stuff, but I guess apparently he doesn't have quite as many. Ratner doesn't have quite as many accusers as Harvey does, but the consensus is if Harvey Weinstein goes to jail, Ratner might be following, just for the fact that he's. I mean, I think he's got a pretty decent list of people who said like he messed with me too, and I mean it's kind of it's a weird time right now, just because it's just like you look at it and it's just like and without getting too heavy into the subject, but it's just like you almost wonder where it's going to stop and how it's all going to work out for some people, just because it just seems like it doesn't matter how long ago it was, just people are saying like this happened, and if they can prove it, yeah, pretty much done. I mean, Ben Affleck got it was like he did an interview with some, I forget who it was, on a MTV thing, and she produced a video. She said, "Look, this is what he did to me back when I was however old," and he's like, "I'm sorry, I was out of control, and I didn't mean it." But it's just like yeah, the list just keeps growing. It's actually kind of it's really kind of weird in the way of that, like it just not weird like I can't believe it, just like kind of strange that how many people just had such a bad lapse in judgment, and just like, you know what, I'm just gonna do whatever I want, and it's just like, wow, like all these years later, come back to bite you.
That's right.
Everything comes
what's
to
up?
the light.
What's up,
going
Pluto?
on, Manny?
Yo, what's up, man? Yo, these dudes got all this cash, and they can't get no girls.
Right?
Ain't most of them married though. I'm saying though, they can't go on the side and maybe go fill up on a stripper or go somewhere instead of trying to molest these actresses.
They get enough money to afford an hour or two, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. I don't understand these people, man. They're so stupid.
It's more of a power trip, I guess.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Well, it ain't just that though. You got to figure too. If any of these girls can just, I mean, all of them, once they get the point where they're famous, they come out and say this stuff. But the last thing you want is like Stardust, the Sweaty Betties or whatever it is, to come up and be like, yeah, he was banging me last night too. And it's just like they're just gonna come out there and like you don't want your name attached to that either. So it's just like you can't expect those chicks to keep their mouth shut when it comes to that type of stuff. Like strippers are trying to get paid too.
Yeah, but I'm saying though, man, how you out there grabbing these girls up and you know something's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna say something. They're gonna come out on 10, 20 years from now talking about, oh, he touched me, but that was like 20 years.
Louis C.K. lost his movie because of it. They were pretty much like because the context of his movie, I guess they were just like, dude, you cannot put this out. Like this doesn't look good right now. So he's pretty much in trouble too.
They had Jeremy, what's his name? The guy from Entourage?
Jeremy Piven.
Yeah. He said he never touched this girl. I think he's like the only one that came out and wrote a statement talking about that he never touched this girl. I don't know what she's talking about.
Hey,
Really?
if he can prove it, good for him. But I mean, Like everybody, Kevin Spacey, they took his show away, and he just had to like kind of
Yeah, you got
go
fucked
away.
over.
They're just like, look,
Mhm.
just stay in the back, don't say nothing else.
Yeah, well, he kind of answered and made himself like sound. He didn't deny it. Was the thing with him? Was he was like, "Oh, I don't remember." Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
oh.
Instead he deflected and like came out of the closet and was like, "Yo, I'm gay." So ignore
Yeah,
this
he's
other
like, I
thing.
can't be because I'm this, and it's like, wow, that doesn't. And then what happened was someone said like, yeah, when I was 14, he tried grabbing me too, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So like his get out of jail free card got revoked.
It's tough though, because all this stuff happened like 10, 15, 20 years ago. So how do you prove it? It's like one person's word against another.
Mhm.
Statute of limitations is over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That guy, I forget his name. He did oh shit. He was talking about somebody molested Corey Feldman.
Yeah. Feldman.
He was talking about like somebody molested me, like this big powerhouse in Hollywood, this guy, when I was on the movies, when I was with the other Corey. And he's like, I can't, because I can't really prove it right now. He's like, if I come out with this, he's gonna come back at me with a defamation lawsuit.
Well, Corey Feldman's been on Larry King at least twice that I've seen in the past 5 years trying to put it out there, but it just gets buried or just doesn't get the attention that he wants it. And now that all this has come out, he's pushing it even more. And you can call it conspiracy wherever you want, but ever since he's been doing all this more active, trying to talk about it, he's been arrested for marijuana possession, and he's had somebody almost hit him with a car. So
yeah, that's
it's
like
coming out,
the lady, I forget her name.
Rose
I'm forgetting
McGowan.
everybody's. Yes, she's cocaine charge.
Yep.
And she's like, this is directly related to that. Someone's trying to silence me.
Yep.
Mhm.
As soon as she started making noise and it started getting traction, that's exactly. I said, dude, drug charge back in February. Look it up. Get her out of here.
Should arrest her for that bad haircut.
Actually, actually, there is a movie that Corey Feldman did put out. It's pretty graphic and it's disturbing. Maybe we'll leave a link in it. I can't think of it right now, but I know where to find it. Maybe we'll leave it a link in it in the description later. But it's pretty disturbing because he goes kind of behind the scenes and exposes a lot of like child pedophilia and all that stuff. So.
Well,
Yeah, was that Alf?
years ago that he tried to tell Barbara
Alf?
Walters, and she kind of dismissed him.
Yeah.
Alf
That
the
Alfie
pervert?
Soda Pop Club. It was like the club where all like the teenage stars hung out back in the day.
And that was kind of weird watching.
Well, that's like he's saying that's the big like thing was the owner of that place was the one who did a lot of the.
Well, he was selling them. He was selling them to the big superstars. Yeah. Like, listen, I got some kids in here. You want to come? That's some nasty shit.
Yeah,
It is, man.
That is nasty because I got kids, so
Yeah, no, that's yeah.
It's just like it's scary, man.
That's where you got to stay packing. Stay packing all the time.
Packing? Nah, I don't need to pack. I got 2 hands.
Did you register those weapons? Yeah. All right. So that's I'm sure we're gonna hear about more people as time goes on here. There's gonna be some other people speaking out.
All right, what's next?
All right. So Ben Affleck's talking about gracefully leaving the role is what he said. So
he's trying to get out before they throw him in the trash.
There's obviously he's not going to be Batman forever. He's getting older. Then there's been a couple of people. I think it was John Campbell with Collider. He was talking about Jake Gyllenhaal. Somebody reached out to him and said that this is probably the number one guy that Matt Reeves wants as the next or the replacement for him. So what do you guys think about Jake Gyllenhaal being the next Batman?
I can see him. I can see him being Batman. I can see him being Batman. I'm not gonna judge because I did that shit with what's his name?
Christian Bale?
The Joker.
Heath Ledger.
Yeah, Heath Ledger. I did that
yeah.
shit. I said, man, why they pick this dude for? And then he just blew me away. I was like, wow, I can't. Okay, All right, I'm gonna fucking stick my foot in my mouth. But I'm not. I mean, how old is he? He's like in his 30s, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
Like mid 30s. I think he'd be all right if you're thinking about long term. Because Ben Affleck, he's already old already, you know.
Mhm.
But he's close to 50.
50. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he can't. Of course, he can't play that role forever. You know, and you know how those movies come out like what every 2 years. You see them? I mean, you know, every 2 years you get older. You know, it's too rough, man. It's that suit got to be at least fucking 75 to 80 pounds.
Right.
You know.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. With the exception of what's his name, the one who did The Dark Knight and
Christian
The Dark
Bale.
Knight Returns, Christian
Bale.
Bell.
Yeah.
They had so many Bruce Waynes wear that cape and cowl. I mean, if this Justice League movie does not do very well, just like Batman versus Superman didn't do that well, if this movie doesn't meet up to their expectations, to me it wouldn't be a problem to have another Bruce Wayne, because it's not set in people's minds like how that whole Christopher Nolan series was to everybody. I mean, that kind of just did something as far, because everybody wanted to see Christian Bale come back because it had such an impact in the big screen to everybody, that if this movie doesn't do that great, man, they can give the role to somebody else. It wouldn't be that big of a deal in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's what people kind of look at and be like, oh, like, you know, they didn't, people like, I wish they didn't get rid of Christian Bale. They didn't get rid of him. Christian Bale, because he did so well, got other movie offers and just went with that shit. He's like, oh, I'm gonna do this now. The thing about it just is like, I mean, you easily can get rid of Affleck just because, even if this movie does well, I mean, you can still move it on and give it to somebody else because of the fact that, I mean, they don't want him there. Like, I mean, they made that clear that they don't want him there. I don't know specifically if it's just friction between the two over the actual Batman movie, the script, and there's just too much, there was just too much, bad blood in between. But I mean, in the end, I mean, you could tell when everything started going south with the movie, and because he was like, I'm into this, I'm gonna direct it, I'm gonna write it, and everything like that, and just how everything kind of went south real quick. You could tell that, like, they weren't coming back to him. Like, he was done.
This is just speculation, but I think they just got upset at him because they didn't like his because he probably was heading towards like comic book, not
right.
go left. He was going right. He was going the way that he wanted to make the movie, and DC or whatever heads or whoever was in charge over there was probably like, nah, we're not doing that. You're not doing that, and you're not doing that. And he probably got pissed off. He was like, all right, I'm not doing it. I'm backing out. I'll see you later. This probably be my last movie as Batman.
I guess
I don't know. If I got the role of Batman, I don't think I would ever let it go. What do you want me to do in this movie? Cool. Yeah. My Batman? Awesome. You know what I mean? I think I would be in for that.
Yeah. I like Ben Affleck as an actor. He's a good actor. I like those movies. Yeah. Like Tim was talking about yesterday on his show. He's talking about like make movies like The Accountant. Ben Affleck, in The Town. Those movies are freaking awesome.
Oh yeah, no, those are great. Yeah, I mean, but Jake Gyllenhaal, I don't have any problem with him playing Bruce Wayne or Batman or whatever. I mean,
I think he could do it. I mean,
at this point, like we've been saying, we've seen so many different people play Batman. Okay, sure, why not give him a try?
Yeah. I think that Jake Gyllenhaal could play Batman. I think he could, but honestly, I think he'd be a way better Riddler. Like, I mean, if you go back to how he was in Nightcrawler, he was something else in that movie. Like, I think his where he shines the most is when he's kind of playing a crazy character. I think Batman would be a little bit too serious for him.
I didn't see Life, but I did see Southpaw, Nightcrawler, End of Watch. He's been in a few movies I liked.
The Day After.
Yeah, I think he could. I think he could pull it off from like a physicality perspective. Like he's got to be, obviously fight people, but he's been in the movies where he's had to wear like the black suit and you know what I mean, like go to galas and stuff. I think he could pull off the look. I think he can do it, and I think Batman's cool, Affleck's cool, but he's like Manny said, he's old. Like he's only got a couple years left,
Well,
and
but that's how they're playing it,
as
though.
well with the DCU right now. I mean, I think a younger Batman is a better fit for the DCU right now.
Right. But for just a younger Batman to show up, would that mean that we are really going to get Flashpoint and reset everything?
It seems like that's what their intention is with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still think they should have just used the Barry Allen they have now on TV.
Yeah, I agree
They
with
want
that.
to they want to separate they want to
Mhm.
separate movies from TV continuity. I mean, you got like fucking 1,000 different Earths, but you can't like combine the shit together. Like, I think he would have did a great as the Flash on the movie, because it's just Flash.
Everybody likes that Flash. They already know the character. They're familiar with
Exactly.
it. Yeah.
Use what you got. Don't mess with what's not broken.
You gotta feel bad for Ezra Miller, because he's just been hearing it nonstop. You know it.
Probably.
Poor guy. He's just like, man, I'm just trying to be the Flash too.
Give me a chance, damn it. Yeah. That being said, I from reviews or whatever that I've read, critics or whatever, that they do say that Ezra Miller is pretty damn funny in the movie. So some people have come out of that like stoked for a Flash movie. Like BVS, like it sucked. I'll say that for me. But I came out of that like, okay, I want a solo Batman movie. That was pretty dope. So that's kind of what people are saying coming out of this movie is, I want a Flash movie. So
yeah.
I've only watched 2 reviews, and there hasn't been anything negative to say about this film yet.
Go watch Movie Bob. Movie Bob lets you. He was pretty upset about like how it all turned out. He said his whole deal was that he's like, if Batman versus Superman was a scalding hot cauldron of gorilla piss, all right. He's like, this wasn't quite. It was like room temperature, so it's just as gross and disgusting, but you're not gonna burn yourself with it. So he said that like it was more enjoyable than Batman vs Superman, but not by much. So I don't know for sure. That was his thing. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like he was pretty brutal on it, but I mean, I don't know
what? Forget about those critics. Don't listen to them. Go watch the damn movie yourself.
That's right. Yeah. Exactly. You gotta watch the movie, make your own opinion at the end of the day. That's
right.
Yeah. But we got Lords of the Long Box here with us. That means it must be halftime. What's going on, brother?
What's good, YouTube?
Oh, that was so gay, bro.
So, the first book I want to auction is this whack-ass variant, the comic slab. Oh, shit. We're saying an auction?
Nah, this ain't an auction, cocksucker.
One of the few shows that is not an auction.
Not a bird-ass auction. What we talking about?
Oh, we're actually. You had a good analogy earlier. I don't know if you want to share it now or wait on it, but we were talking about. Well, kind of, it got into the Justice League and stuff, but.
Oh,
you were talking about the wine.
Oh well, yeah. Like I think the common complaint is, why all their other movies have been so long, yet you cram 5 characters in it. 2 or 3 of them that haven't had a proper introduction yet, and then you want to put it in 2 hours. So this is the one movie where, like a good bottle of wine, you open it up, you let it breathe, you know what I'm saying, before you drink it, instead of just slamming it down our gullets. So it's kind of weird. But this is another thing where it's WB fucking with the program. They wanted more showing, so they're like, hey, WB suit said, hey, make this shit at 2 hours so we get as many screens showing it back to back as possible, right? And that may come back to bite them in the ass, because from all the reviews that I've read, the most common complaint, good or bad, is either there wasn't enough time or I wish there was more time because they liked it. You know what I mean? Even if they liked it, they still thought they wish they had more time, because I think we all kind of agree 2 hours is a lot, and plus you have to introduce Flash, Cyborg, and I think they're assuming that everybody kind of knows these characters and what they are. They know what mother boxes are, which are a big part of the story. No spoiler, obviously, but I think if people are big DC fans, I think they're really gonna love it or they're really gonna hate it. It's gonna be one of those things where I actually loved it. I finally saw my characters, or one of those they raped my childhood and fuck them forever. You know what I mean? And the average fan, I think, will just enjoy it. Like, hey, it was cool. Seeing the visuals, shit exploding. It's definitely CGI heavy, as you can tell just by the trailers.
Yeah.
You know, so but I think more time would have helped them with the actual CGI though, because that's the one. Like, remember, I in our chat, I said Cyborg looks off, right? His CGI,
yeah,
and more time because if you think about it, when Snyder quit, Whedon only had 6 months to finish it out, and from what they're saying, that Snyder didn't really get that much done. So Whedon, it wasn't just a couple of reshoots; it was like massive reshoots. So you know,
and not only that, but they had to find a way to blend his style with Snyder's style, the transition there, and kind of make it feel seamless.
Yeah. Well, it seems like every DC movie, man, we got to make excuses for the next movie. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, it's because Whedon didn't get all the time he wanted. Oh, it's because fucking Suicide Squad, the director didn't want it. Oh, because Batman or Superman, that's not the director's cut. And so I'm fully waiting for the 2 hour and 30-minute version of Justice League. You know what I mean?
The ultimate cut.
Or maybe a Zack Snyder cut, or maybe a fucking Whedon cut or something. But it's I don't know if that will piss off fans more to say, like, why do we have to pay again to see it on Blu-ray or whatever, and not the finished product that we should, we deserve to see on the big screen.
You made a good point though with that, like how they, make excuses for, the next one coming up. I mean, honestly, I think a lot of that problem is that they hitched their horse right to Zack Snyder. It's just like, his style of storytelling is just, I mean, it's one dimensional. Like if you saw 300, you've seen everything else he does. And it's just like, what I think the biggest problem that they messed up with is that they didn't get enough other directors out there to kind of change and look. I think that they just wanted to keep one look the whole way through. And it's just like, if nothing else, once this is all done and over with, they should kind of start, trying to field out to other directors and be like, all right, look, we don't want these movies to kind of maybe connect in here and there, but we want them to have their own feel so that we know, what it is that we at least can have the character feel a specific way and get everybody to be engaged in it the way that they should be.
But isn't that part of the reason why they brought Affleck on board? Didn't they want him to eventually direct something?
Yeah,
and now he's getting pushed out.
But they didn't like the direction he was taking it. And I think that Manny was 100% right. He was going more comic book than what it is that they wanted. Basically, more comic book than WB. And really, WB needs to they need to loosen the reins, man. Like they're into it too much. Yep. And it's just like, just let people make the movies they want to make.
Happened with BBS, happened with Suicide Squad, and now it's happening with this. So they need to
But it didn't happen with Wonder Woman.
Right.
No, yeah, and it wasn't bad.
And Patty Jenkins had a singular view and voice on it because they wanted something totally different. But then, I think what happens with the WB suits is when something is high stakes, the suits can't help but get involved because they think there's too much at stake. I just read a report that somebody told, like Hollywood Reporter, that if it doesn't perform as well as Thor, then the WB suits are going to be really nervous about doing anything in the future. And that goes back to them being reactive about any little thing that happens, as opposed to just mapping out their plan. And I hate this. It's the beat the dead horse time. They're missing Feige, right? I don't know if they thought Snyder was the dude that was going to be the Feige, but he's a director. I don't know if he's such a good storyteller long term, like how Feige has his roadmap set out. But we keep on saying the same thing, right? They need a singular voice on the corporate side, for lack of a better term, right?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. You mentioned the performance. Thor Ragnarok was 122.7 for domestic, the opening weekend, right? The projection for this movie, I think it did like 8.4 so far, but the projection last I saw was 110 million.
Whoa, that's it?
Yeah.
Dang.
Which is pretty significantly, especially for a major ensemble movie, under where Thor was.
Do they have, because Thor, when it opened up on late Thursday night, they only did midnight showings, right? I think Justice League is showing like PM showings, like 7, 8 o'clock.
There, right? Yeah, I think it starts at 7, yeah.
Yeah, no, so we went and saw 7 o'clock showing last Thursday of Thor.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they opened it up evening then, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
7 o'clock.
So I think as a director, knowing that the corporate entities of Warner Brothers don't have faith and they don't show faith in directors. If you were a director like Ben Affleck, who's done small indie movies where he's had more control of it with, the aforementioned Weinstein, because Weinstein was known as a producer of smaller films. Like, that's why I think Argo and The Town, things like that, and so
That was cool.
And so I think Affleck is uber sensitive, right? I mean, that sad Ben Affleck meme may be a meme, but there's probably truth. Like you see him slowly melting away because he doesn't want his legacy to be known as, I've been hitched to these shitty films. And I think that it's called the Geely effect, man. He had that movie bomb hella bad when he was with J-Lo, wherever the fuck it was. And, and so that's why he did those projects where he had control of. He had Argo. I mean, The Town, The Account, those are all great fucking movies. We can all agree on that. But the thing I think he's frustrated when he goes to WB is he's the only thing good in those movies. Like Batman vs. Superman. Everybody says Wonder Woman, Batman, great. I'm pretty sure this movie, they'll say Batman is, but it doesn't seem like he's gung-ho about it. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, no. Seems like he's just kind of writing out his contract at this point.
I don't want to use the Marvel example because it's always DC versus Marvel, but you see Robert Downey Jr., he lives and breathes that shit, right? He knows this is what's, his grandkids are going to retire on. He's like, he swallows that roll up. Like how he used to do cocaine.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah,
that's sad too because like he came in. I mean, initially when he signed on, he came in with all that fury, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, I'm ready for this. Like, I'm gonna be Batman for as long as I." Like, I mean, he made you believe that he was gonna really pour everything he had into it. And
he said, "I'll be Batman as long as they'll have me."
Right.
That's not quite coming out and say, "Yo, I'm gonna rock this shit until I'm in a wheelchair." It's
but it's funny too. I think this has actually been in the works for a while. There was a few months back, his brother Casey Affleck let slip that Batman's not going to be, or Affleck's not going to be doing the movie. And then we've talked about this too, and I'm sure you guys have talked about on NY Warriors and Lords of the Long Box. It's been speculated that he's not going to be around, and this has been going on since I'd say February at least. We've been talking about, is he going to be continuing? Is he not? This rumor, that rumor, this soundbite, that soundbite. So I think we're finally getting to the finality of that. And
you know what it is? He doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to be locked in. He wants to go do other stuff too. He don't want to just do fucking superhero movies. He
That's
got
true.
other shit that he could do.
But see I think what he fails to realize is that these iconic roles gives them the money and the power in Hollywood to do whatever they want to do. Remember Robert Downey Jr., his career got reinvented. What did he all on doing? Sherlock Holmes. He did that movie with where he was a lawyer and his dad was a judge. And that was a small independent movie, but the cachet they get from these big movies that they're popular and they go out and do whatever other movies they want, right?
Ticket to Ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
all right. So talking about movies, there's two movies, and this was announced pretty recently. Two movies that we do not need. Absolutely. That's, I'm sure you guys will agree with me, but the first is Morbius, the living vampire. Sony is apparently going to be doing this, like, not part of the MCU, not Tom Holland sort of connected movie, but still using Spider-Man characters, written by the two guys who wrote the latest Power Rangers movie. I'll let you form your own opinion on that. They also Dracula Untold, so they're kind of familiar with vampire type of movies. And they wrote Gods of Egypt as well.
Oh God!
Horrible.
Really?
Oh, that was horrible.
So there you go. That kind of gives you an idea of what we're getting into here with this movie. And again, like I said, movie we don't need, but looks like it's going to be they're moving forward with it. So
Multiple Man.
Yeah.
We don't need that shit either, man.
That's another one too with James Franco.
Michael Keaton made that back in like the late '90s called Multiplicity. So
Yeah.
just Jamie Madrox gets a movie. That's fun.
Yep. I don't know how that's going to play if he gets
you don't need
multiple
those,
salaries.
You don't need those corny movies. Those are movies. Those characters need to be like together with like some Morbius and Blade or either Spider-Man or
Yeah, like say Midnight Suns. Do that.
yeah. Like don't Venom needs to be in the Spider-Man movie. I don't understand why they even giving Venom his own movie. I think it's retarded.
You know, you're not the only one who doesn't understand that. But
All right, let me blast this dude real quick.
That, you know that I'm crazy for saying that.
Well, look at here's what I'm thinking. All right, I'm thinking that they're branching off with all these other little movies to try to put drops of Spider-Man in all of them. Try to keep Spider-Man relevant without focusing on this big Spider-Man film every 2 years. I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, because what other reason would you have to do a Morbius film? I mean, to me, Morbius has never really been not at the popularity level of Venom, but I don't know. I don't get it.
It's all greed, man. It's all greed. They saw how popular Marvel did Spider-Man, so they're like, let's write this and let's squeeze out as much change as they can.
So they're like, hey, Spider-Man's doing great. That's our bread and butter right now. We love Spider-Man. So now they're going to do Morbius. Now they're going to do Venom. Now they're going to do Black Cat and Silver Sable, Mysterio and Kraven, all without Spider-Man. Like,
well, actually, here's what it is, because now, ever since Deadpool, we found out Venom is going to be rated R. I would have to assume that Morbius is going to be rated R as well. So maybe they just want a line of just rated R comic book films.
Yeah, but if it's going to be, you know, Gods of Egypt shit, like, you don't want that. I mean, and you know, what sucks about that is that you look at it and it's just like, okay, so immediately Marvel's, you know, everybody in the MCU is going to disown it completely. Like, yeah, this has nothing to do with us. It's going to be like Fantastic Four. Like, you know there's going to be a bomb from the get-go. And now they're just like, you know what? We got nothing to do with it. You know, you can go see that piece of shit if you want to. But just know, like, we got the real movies over here. Just, you know.
Marvel's going to pay Sony to not make movies. That's what they're going to do.
I hope so.
I'm telling you,
buy the damn studio.
There's someone over at Sony and Fox that has all these comics and like, dude, I need to get these things. The prices jack up on eBay. So listen, we're going to put the greenlight this movie and greenlight this next one too. Yeah.
Well, who's the person that's shepherding the movies at Sony? Because, you know, Fox has got Kinberg, right? I mean, he's doing it. I mean, Amy Pascal got fired. She's no longer part of Sony, I thought.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Remember the whole email hacks and everything?
Yeah, that's right.
They need a comic book person to head up the studio. Like, I mean, Fox has somebody that helps guide their X-Men stuff.
Yeah. Remember that interview that Amy did with Kevin Feige, and she was like rolling out with all this stuff, and he's just like looking at her like, "What the?"
He's like, "Bitch, shut the fuck up." Yeah,
man. All right, so Multiple Man. Until you mentioned that's under development apparently. Simon Kinberg's attached to it, and Alan Heinberg actually, who is one of the people who wrote Wonder Woman, supposedly writing the script for it. But again, nothing that we need. I don't know a whole lot about Jamie Madrox, other than his name and like what teams he's been on.
Yo, this is his origin. This is his origin. I shit you not. When he was born, when the doctor slapped him, another version of him popped up. That's how he found out he could clone himself. So literally, when he was born, he slapped him, and another version of him popped up. And I think they had a run in, was it X-Force or something, where it was Madrox was leading up some type of like mutant investigative team or some shit. And that's like the last I remember of all the X-Men characters in their universe. They picked the Multiple Man, and I got to think it's a comedy because, you know, James Franco's got the comedic chops or whatnot.
Yeah.
So Green Goblin's gonna be Jamie Madrox now.
Yeah, it's just of all the mutants you could pick, why Multiple Man?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
Same thing with Morbius. Of all the whole massive rogues gallery that Spider-Man has, why did you go to Morbius so quickly?
Because we need a vampire.
We don't though. Look at Justice. What is it? The Dark Universe that just collapsed. They can't get Justice League Dark, the live action, at least off the ground. Like these types of monster movies, Universal monsters, for lack of a better way to, call them. They're not going to be successful right now, and this is right within that range of types of movies.
The only way I could see a Morbius movie working would be if Blade was also in it.
Yes, you hit it right on the head, dude. That's the only reason we would want to see it, because Blade was killing his ass.
Yeah, right.
I don't think you're gonna see Blade movie anytime soon.
Who owns Blade though?
Marvel does.
Marvel, okay.
Yeah, they got it back because after 7 years, no development, they get the characters back. So
that's right.
So I think Marvel's just sitting on Blade to figure out if they want to make a movie or put them on Netflix and the streaming service when they get a little bit more money. Same with Ghost Rider, same with Moon Knight. I think all of that is going to be waiting until they get their streaming service because they don't want to put anything on Netflix to make them popular. They want to put all their shit on their own streaming service. And I think then we're going to see all the really like C-list or the characters we've been wanting to see, like Moon Knight and Ghost Rider and whoever else.
That's why we didn't get a real Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I gave you Robbie Ray.
Yeah.
Although that Ghost Rider was pretty
Driver.
badass. Though.
No, he
was a pretty damn cool car, though. That was a pretty cool car. It wasn't the motorcycle, but
he was cool. Yeah, but that when we think Ghost Rider, we think motorcycle. That's what we all want to see. So,
well, you know why? Now that's part of that whole Marvel creative committee that Bendis created. A lot of characters he created, he pushed toward the TV side. Right, Jessica Jones on Netflix, all this shit that you see, like Guardians of the Galaxy in the movies, and then he got split from that. So he wanted to continue to develop these things that he thought he could push on TV, like the new, like Quake, Daisy Johnson. I think he wrote that Secret Avengers book too.
He created her. He created her.
So
it was Secret War. Yeah,
Secret War. So he had an agenda where he's like, "Hey, I'm going to create these creators because you know what? I'm going to get some pocket change from whatever I create that goes on TV screen." But then Feige was like, "Yo, man, slow down. We're not moving. This isn't part of our major MCU plan." And then they got exiled, and Jeff Loeb is dealing with it, and maybe he's going to try to do that over at DC. Never know.
Yeah, I know. I think so. Like that whole creative committee, there was a big falling out with Ike Perlmutter and stuff, and just ended up becoming defunct. And ever since then, like he was really wanting to be part of this whole like sort of film side of things, whether it was TV or movies. And I'm pretty sure, Jim Lee was part of the enticement was, hey, you can come sit at our table here and hash out some of these, plots with us. So I'm pretty sure he'll be doing that over there. And I think that he might even be, helping on the Shazam project a little bit. Maybe my thing is I think he's going to be writing a Shazam book.
Have you read what Zachary Levi said the Shazam movie is going to be like?
No.
It's going to be like the movie Big with superpowers.
Oh, wow.
So I cried when I saw Big, goddamn it. I still cry when I see Big, but I don't know if I'm ready to cry in a Shazam movie or not, but But I can see how that. Obviously, it's going to be catering more to young people. The whole comedy side of it. So you can see the direction DC wants to go. Since this is greenlit, Flash, I'm pretty sure will be light in tone. With Ezra Miller, I mean, they got rid of Cyborg because he seemed like a bit of an emo type character in Justice League. And Aquaman obviously is kind of the cowabunga surfer version of Aquaman that we've never seen before. So they're going a certain direction now. They saw how dark and brooding Batman vs Superman was, and they probably said, let's light it up and make it more like comic books. Not everything has to be the Dark Knight, black, Batman dark.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, it's good to have contrast, and I think that they initially weren't even thinking about that. They're just like doc.
Well, that's the problem, is it though? The problem was they weren't thinking about it, right? And I think that angers us all as comic book fans. Is goddamn, man, comic books they typically plot out what 12 issue story arcs, and if you look at DC and what they're doing with the Watchmen, like 2 fucking years worth of stories. I mean, why can't they do that with the movies? Just say, hey man, this is where we're going. Because after Justice League, who are they going to fight? I imagine another set of movies and then Darkseid, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the problem I think most that they're having is because they're not having comic book creators, writers involved in it. They're just going right to directors and like, all right, write us a screenplay, do it in this format. Like I wonder if it's something where they figure that maybe comic writers can't write in a television format, which I think is bullshit. If you at least give an outline, like this is where we want this to go, write it in this and just work closely together, they could absolutely put something together that's amazing. There's no reason why Justice League shouldn't be as big or as epic as Avengers was back in 2012. There's no way that it should be disappointing anybody.
Agreed.
Facts.
Absolutely.
Yo, I got to put on my Warriors jersey since he's got his Celtics jersey on, man.
That's right. All right. So another thing that we learned, actually, I think it was today. It might have been yesterday. The days all blend together for me these days. Anyways, Mark Millar announced that he is writing a new Kick-Ass comic book. It will be starring, as he said, a black female hero this time. You did you read or did you watch Kick-Ass?
Yeah.
I fucking love Kick-Ass, and I got the perfect girl to play
Hit Girl is cool.
Hit Girl.
Yeah.
The little what's his name's little sister in Stranger Things.
Oh yeah.
Just have her killing motherfuckers. That would be badass.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed like Kick-Ass and Hit Girl, all those films that kind of take on God damn, did somebody just flush the toilet?
Yeah, man.
Tell us what you really think about Kick-Ass.
Nah, that's what I think about you, bro.
Oh, better flush them bird shits down the toilet, son. No, but you know what? I think so. Is that going to be in the Netflix stuff? Is that the Millar? That anything Millar writes is got a 50-50 chance of making it on either movies or wherever hell, Netflix or whatever.
Yeah, I was saying to somebody else today, expect some original Netflix content spinning off of this too.
Yo, shut that dog up.
Yeah.
Man, you just flushed a dookie down the toilet. You worried about my dog?
It wasn't a doopy, actually. It was a pee-pee, my friend.
Oh, thank you, sir, for sharing your
pee-pees. For the details on that. So yeah, we were talking about last week. He's doing the Magic Order as a comic also. So he's now that this deal is kind of like it's a couple months into it now. They're starting to roll out with the project. So Magic Order was first. Now we're hearing about Hit Girl. Next thing's gonna be whatever else. We're gonna get a movie or some type of limited series pretty soon, like show-wise. Pretty sure.
Yo, right? I'm down, man. I like Millar as a writer, and ironically, John Romita Jr.'s art works with Mark Millar. Anything else John Romita Jr. does right now sucks, but when he drew Kick-Ass, that shit worked for some reason.
Yep.
Fuck that. He's a fucking bird-ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
What was it? I remember too. Was it Millar that did? It was Millar that did the original Wanted.
He also, Millar also did the. He started off the Ultimates universe until Bendis fucking killed it and made it horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is gonna be with Oliver. I always fuck up the last name. Copiel. How do you say it?
Copiel?
Yeah, he's a great artist. His run,
he did a lot of Thors. I like his Thor.
His Thor run was epic.
Yeah, so that'll be pretty cool. It comes out in the fall, actually in February, so that's where you can find that.
Yeah.
So pre-order it. Yeah.
Nah, I don't pre-order nothing, man.
Do a new segment called "Cop It or Drop It."
That's right.
I'm a cop it.
All right, so Deadpool 2 teaser. I'm sure we all saw it.
Yeah, that was good.
Right?
Funny.
Not what I expected to see. Some happy little trees there, and he's like, "I'm high as hell."
The best part of that trailer is the end credits.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So there was Golden Girls in there. Here's one that people miss. It's a security, and the name was Dalton. Dude, that is a Roadhouse reference, man. If you remember, Dalton did the security on Roadhouse. Remember?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was like, so that show Emergency Awesome, the guy has a YouTube channel, really great channel for news. Yeah. He actually went through every single credit and he's like saying what it was referencing to, but he did miss the Dalton one, so I had to go correct him. Waiting for my no prize there, motherfucking.
That's a nice catch. That's funny. All right, we got LP here, Rebel Comics. What's going on, brother?
Oh, not much, man. Just got back from watching Thor. Saw you guys were on, and enjoying the talk, man.
Sweet. Cool. You saw Thor? You just saw Thor?
Yeah, I thought it was awesome, man. I absolutely loved Hela. It was hilarious, start to finish. It was everything that the reviews said it was going to be. And next on the list is Justice League. So bring it on.
So while you're at the theater, was there long lines for Justice League?
Justice League wasn't airing at our theater. At least tonight, unless they're doing some sort of midnight show that I didn't know about. But in Florida, there might have been like 6 people in the theater.
Well, yeah, it's week 3.
Yeah, it's week 3. So we basically had it all for ourselves. It was great, And,
hey, yo, my man, fix your mic, B.
It's a little choppy, dog.
Oh, man.
He's on that Big Easy Wi-Fi.
Right? Or Frank.
All right.
Whatever happened to Frank, man? Did Punisher 88 still doing videos?
He's doing stuff.
I see him on Instagram every once in a while.
Yeah. He's around.
So the crazier thing about this Deadpool trailer though was that it's now already up to like 6 million views in like what less than 36 hours.
Yeah. It
So,
was funny, man. It was entertaining.
yeah,
That's
if
crazy.
That Bob Ross show
the
was
ticket sales, man.
Bob Ross, man, Bob Ross.
That's right.
Who remember that as a kid?
Oh,
Channel
yeah.
13.
On PBS.
PBS
Yeah,
used to
I'm
be on
pretty sure
there.
Bob Ross was high as a motherfucker every time he was drawing.
He
Yeah.
had to have been.
There's one he had with his
Yeah,
son.
I do
His son was
remember.
high as shit too. He's like, all right, now we're gonna do a nice little river over here. Just do the best you can. Don't worry, don't try to be like me. Have some
Oh, man.
comedy. It's
So
your
let me tell you,
world.
if Bob Ross was alive right now, you know what he could do on YouTube that would blow up those ASMR videos or whatever where people
Oh,
whisper.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Oh, man. I think Jared Osborne does that for drawing, right? Does he do it as,
With the markers, he makes the markers squeak.
what the hell is ASMR or ASR? Something like that, man.
Yeah.
There's some creepy shit out there on the YouTubes, man. There are some dark corners of the world with some weird fetish videos, man.
yep.
Yeah,
just
see,
look at
he
my
knows.
comic book
See how
channels.
quickly he's like, yep, yeah.
He's like, oh yeah,
Like,
been there, done that.
no, like I remember Legend was making fun of that shit one time, and it was just like he's like, yeah, man, it's just people that just breathe in the microphone, and like people just sit there and just like give them tips and stuff. It was like, what? Seriously?
So you know how there's unboxing videos? Well, there's a weird corner of the YouTube universe where people have hand fetishes, so they don't say anything, and their videos are just them doing stuff with their hands, like opening things or putting shit together.
That's
And then
weird.
I
It's
saw
worrisome
one.
that you know about this.
Yeah, 3 hours later, I realized what they were, man. I was like, this is kind of weird, and I was like, couldn't
Damn,
watch
you
it.
was watching
Kind of
that shit
weird,
for
but I
3
think I
hours?
like it.
Were you waiting for this to do something else the whole time? You're like, when's it gonna get to the good part?
Well, the End My Warrior show was on, so I needed something better to watch at the time. So
Oh,
man.
shots
Man.
fired.
I love you,
Right over the
Manny.
bow.
Yeah, this guy's a chicken head.
Cluck, cluck, motherfucker.
All right, so this is something I'm excited for. I don't know about y'all, but Danger Girl.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
Hopefully I
Constantine-
sound better now. I am
Me too.
totally pumped for a Danger Girl movie. And if done right, it's going to rock, you know?
Yeah,
And right now, the movie industry is all about getting more and more female leads in movies. And that's why we're seeing, you know, something like a Danger Girl come out. You know, so you get the top 3 or 4 women right in the movie, make them the stars. I just don't want it to be some cheesy, bad, D-rated movie, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, this is actually going to be a TV show.
Oh, it's a TV show. I have
Yeah.
it down as a movie.
Yeah, so sorry, you can't see no titties.
Yeah, no, I hope it's not like a watered down, you know, PG-13 type of. Well, I guess PG-13 might be okay, but I just don't want like, I don't know. It's
I
got to
don't
be
want
true to the
Danger Girl
comic
that
to be
feels
good.
like fucking 90210. You know what I mean? Like,
Do we know what network has picked it up, or has it made it that far yet?
It's Constantine Films. I don't know what they're gonna like, what networks they're
I can see
contracted
working
with.
like a spy thing, like Charlie's Angels type deal. You know what I mean?
well,
Yeah.
what I'm seeing here,
Yeah.
guys, it says this is from the HollywoodReporter.com, and they're saying Danger Girl movie in the works from the producers of Hitman and Resident Evil. So they're calling it a movie, not a TV show.
Ooh, Resident Evil and Hitman. Oh, you can't go wrong with Resident Evil and Hitman.
Yeah, no, that's not an accolade you want. Like, no.
Well, which Resident Evil? Like the first one or the 7 after it? I don't know. Like Hitman was awful too. That's to do with the barcode in the back of his head, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
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 You don't want a video game guys doing your comic book movie, you know, because there's yet to be a good video game movie unless you count Mario Brothers. I guess was kind of okay.
Shit,
I think they're redoing
I
that.
misread this. It says Jeremy Bolt's Pictures and Adrian Ascara, I don't know how to say that, Prime Universe Films. So we're both right, to produce a film and develop a TV show from the property.
Damn, they're doubling down on that.
So there you go. So we were both right. Let's just call it.
You know,
even.
yeah, because Danger Girl is still a very popular comic somewhere. Apparently, what? I would rather see a
IDW,
Gen
I
13
think, right?
like movie than I would see a Danger Girl movie. You know what I mean?
Hey,
If you're gonna
yeah,
go
that's
and
what you do.
Danger Girl comics.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Gen 13 movie would be cool. And I guess that will all depend on how well Danger Girl does. If Danger Girl does well, then that kind of opens up the door for these, you know, kind of other properties that people haven't thought about in a long, long time, you know?
Yeah, but wasn't Gen 13 before Danger Girl?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think so. Yeah.
yeah.
So why would they do Danger Girl before Gen 13?
Yeah, that's like random, just out of left field. I mean, is it even an ongoing right now, Danger Girl? I mean, there's
Mhm.
one shot.
Yeah, I think so.
They do a bunch of minis.
Yeah, they do a bunch of miniseries. So
Yeah.
Now,
J. Scott Campbell still attached to it?
he is to a certain degree. Like when it was Danger Girl Trinity, which is one of the last ones that came out, he was doing the covers for them, but he wasn't
Right.
doing
Yeah.
the interior artwork.
He don't
He,
do
he doesn't do
interiors anymore.
sequentials anymore. Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
he's
said
not gonna
he
do
said
that.
he gets more money doing the covers. He said that shit straight up at New York City Comic Con. Somebody was asking him.
Adam Hughes, Art Adams, all those cats, man. Why, why
He
spend all
said
that
there's
time?
no money. He said no money in interiors. He said.
That's right. Adam Hughes actually did some of the Gen 13s.
Yeah, he
Really?
did some of those.
Some of the covers. Yeah, he did the interiors as well on a couple issues. I don't know which volume it was, but yeah, he did some sequentials on Gen 13. It's funny we're talking about that. I got a couple right here. Gen 13.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did. He did some.
That Death
go
Made
ahead.
Black.
Yeah, he
That
did some
Death
of
Made
the Adam Hughes did some of those covers that look like cover swipes, like shows,
Yeah.
like the Brady Bunch.
Damn.
What else?
Oh, yeah, there was,
some other shows.
Yeah, there was like Janet Jackson and stuff too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I got an Adam Hughes cover for Penthouse Comics from 1994.
You bought it
Yeah,
for the
what's that?
articles.
The funny story is I got a big box of porn, man. Big To Do was selling, and he doesn't like advertise like pornographic comics. So he goes, I saw him at like WonderCon, and he's like, Tim, I got this big box of porn comics. I go, I don't want it. He goes, take it, it's yours. I go, what the fuck? I was walking around with a big box of porn at the comic show. Like,
Dirty man.
I got Hustler comics and I got Penthouse comics in there. So I got the entire
Do you
run.
have any of them? Send them to CGC.
Pages are kind of sticky right now. I don't want to submit it. You know what I mean?
They got
Brought it
jizz,
down
they
to
put
a-
jizz on your comics.
No,
anyway,
hey,
so it
I don't
matter.
need the rainbow jizz. I got my own jizz.
Oh man.
Sorry, Justin. We just turned your show into
It's all
depravity.
good.
All right.
It's all good. I'm sure CGC will be fine with those though.
So I'll have Marky submit it for me, and they'll have like double the jizz on it.
There you go.
It'll be like a snow globe
Oh my god.
in the case.
Oh, damn. I was like, yo, I want that Peter North signature on it, man.
Oh,
Give me that North Pole jizz. I'm sorry, was that too? Did I go too far?
No, but that's okay. I don't know how to respond to that.
All right.
All right. So a long time ago, they were talking about redoing the Crow Reborn.
leave it alone.
Yeah, but they're doing it.
It's
They're
already
talking
done.
about,
It's already
hey,
getting done.
what's Momoa gonna do after Aquaman? And it's gonna be the Crow. He's doing.
Oh,
the Crow.
really? Out of here,
Yeah. He actually
Yeah.
put up a picture on his Instagram page of like the face paint or whatever for the Crow. And that's kind of like the first sort of sign that there's been some progress on the movie. But yeah, it's going to be Momoa as the Crow as the kind of the next. I don't know if it's going to be a full on reboot or just another
character
segment. Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. But yeah,
Could be good. Could be good.
Doing backflips right now.
I think he's too big to play the Crow, right? I mean, the whole reason why Brandon Lee was so good, it was he's smaller in stature, but he could kick ass, and
But that's the
Yeah.
thing with the Crow. Like the Crow isn't just one person. Like it, every couple of years or something, a different person can rise and be the Crow or whatever.
Dude, Edward Furlong was the Crow at one point.
Yeah. Oh my god.
damn.
Yeah.
They made those
did like 4 of
sequels
them.
were so bad that
Mhm.
they're unwatchable. They are unwatchable.
I think that they had plans to do more movies with Brandon Lee, but he died and that was it. Like they couldn't keep
Yeah.
going.
Shit, I never even seen those other whack ass Crow movies. I only saw
I
the
saw the
first one.
second one. I saw
That
the
was
second.
it.
The second one's pretty bad.
I saw 3. I saw Salvation and City of Angels, and obviously the first one, which I'll.
When it comes to
Never
Jason
gets old.
Momoa, he's a really hit or miss guy, right? Like, he was great in Game of Thrones. I'm sure he's gonna be great in Aquaman. But then you go back and you look at something like the Conan movie, which was just god awful, So to throw him into something like The Crow kind of makes me cringe and worry, honestly.
He's on Netflix too. He has this show, what is it, Frontier or something, or some
something
shit
like
that has to do with like Canada or something.
Yeah.
Go watch that.
Never
Watch
seen
that out. They're like in Montreal or something like that. It's pretty decent. It's not that bad. I'm into it. 2 episodes, so it's all right.
Yeah. I don't
Check
know.
it out.
I just look at it like, I mean, even though that movie came out, what, 94 was the first Crow?
Mm-hmm.
It's you know, it's still such a high bar that like I can't tell. Like I don't know. It's just like I don't think you can do any better than that movie. That's just me. I mean, I don't, you know, what if this one knocks out the park? I don't know. But it just, the other thing too is whenever I see little buzzwords like reborn, resurgence, revenge, I always stay away from them kind of movies, just because like those buzzwords usually mean piece of shit.
It's a cult classic. You need to just leave it as is, man.
Yeah, it is.
Kind of like Darkman, right? Not the best movie, but it's a cult classic.
Darkman is definitely a cult film. Yeah, 100%. Like if they redid that, that's sacrilege, man.
Just like when The Rock wanted to redo Big Trouble in Little China, people were like, "Oh hell no,
God, leave that alone. Leave that one alone." Yeah,
can't do Jack Burton without fucking Kurt Russell.
That's right.
So this is the picture here underneath the logo lettering.
So he's gonna be what, a juggalo? What the fuck?
It looks kind of like a Sienkiewicz type of, you know, or David Mack.
Or
like
if
painted style,
or if it was like, you know, if he wanted to be Sting.
There you go.
That's what it looks like.
he'll be swinging down from the rafters.
Right.
But when I see this picture right now, you're showing I'm just picturing Brandon Lee though.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I see. I don't see any. I don't know.
There's no facial features that make you know it's Jason Momoa.
Right.
No,
Alex at Common Corner says straight
that's just a
VHS.
painting.
Could, I don't know. It's gonna be through Sony, apparently.
Ah, shit.
So there you go.
Forget about it. Wait for the Blu-ray.
Freaking Morbius and the Crow. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, they gotta be together.
Yeah, could be.
Crossover.
Oh no, he's playing Eric Draven.
Oh, what?
He's playing Eric Draven, so this it's gonna be a reboot then. Yeah.
Boycott it. Done. Right in the trash. Don't even go see it. Eric Draven, they are just doing so much injustice. But I mean, I heard too they wanted to remake Scarface at some point. This is like, why?
Yeah, with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Scorsese writing it.
I may be in the minority here, but Scarface is a horrible fucking movie. It is highly overrated.
It is.
That's a classic, bro.
It is a classic. I like it. I like it, but like when you look at how it is,
classic.
It's not you know, it's not the best, most well done movie ever. But I mean, it's just fun to watch, though. It is a fun movie to watch.
If you want to see Al Pacino play a Cuban or Puerto Rican, go watch Carlitos Way. That's a good movie.
That's a good movie. Yeah, that's a really good movie.
A good one.
All right, we got Biggie's Comics in the house coming at us with another live show.
Yo, what's up? Yo, Tim, you gotta fold those socks on the bed, bro. Put them away. I keep looking at them, man. I've been looking at them all show.
I got Marky's fucking Star Trek comic underneath there, man. I gotta find that shit.
He told me not to send you books until you send that one.
Man, he must have I'll buy him 10 copies of that shit so he can go pick it up himself, man. Raver comic, man.
Oh man.
He said, "Stop being cheap. It's only $3 a ship."
I'll buy some copies on eBay just so I have to ship it to him. Let them ship it to him directly.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just talking about the Crow, right? The Crow movie, Jason Momoa. Yeah. Just my little thoughts on it. I think it needs a reboot. I think the Crow is. Yeah, I love. Don't get me wrong. I love the movie. I loved it. You know, that was one of my favorite movies, you know, back in the day. But a lot of time has passed already, and a lot of people have forgotten about it. The new generations don't know about it. They don't know about that character. Nah, they do. They do need to.
Look, we got DVDs and shit. We can show them that.
It needs a new audience. It needs to be relevant again. And that's reboot to me is the only way.
Well, Sting based his wrestling character on the Crow, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Biggies, do you think Jason Momoa would be the right guy for that role, though?
I think so because we don't want to copy. We don't want to copy Brandon Lee. So you want the character to be its own Crow, a good Crow, but its own Crow. So you don't want to make it similar to Brandon Lee. So that way, that version of it stays untainted. You know what I'm saying?
How about story-wise?
That 100% will taint it. That'd be flaming pile of shit.
Wait. The bigger issue with a reboot of The Crow, okay? I think we're all about the same age around that. We really like the first movie. So the biggest issue with a new Crow movie is how do they top the soundtrack of the first one?
Oh yeah, Stone Temple
STP and all
Pilots,
that,
yeah. That and the Cure, Burn. Oh, those songs.
When he was
Burn,
running over
yeah.
the rooftop and that song was jamming out, that was a
that
great
was
scene.
on the rooftop. That was that was the Cure. The song's called Burn. Yeah, really good.
I mean,
song.
the Crow soundtrack is almost as iconic as like Conan's soundtrack and how it made that movie. You know?
Yeah.
But if you look, all right, so when you're saying that, right, you know, it's old and you know needs a reboot, new audience, and everything like that. So how would you feel if they decided that they're gonna reboot Back to the Future with Michael Cera, and so Michael Cera is gonna be Marty McFly, and John Hamm's gonna be Doc Brown.
But it doesn't work that way because see, the Crow is something that's not played as often as Back to the Future. Back to the Future is always played on TV, and it keeps on getting. You know, they play constantly. The Crow.
And you've already had several people.
Yeah,
you've already had several people play the Crow as it is already. So.
Yes, but there's different people, different deaths. Like if Jason Momoa is his own separate Crow, like someone not Eric Draven, I have no problem with it.
Arthur Curry.
But the fact that he's gonna sit there and be Eric Draven, and they're basically just gonna go ahead and fuck up what was a classic movie by changing it over and putting, you know, Khal Drogo in the role, it's gonna be...
Yeah, but how you know he's gonna mess it up though? You can't tell the future, my man. What's wrong with
that?
That goes back to the Heath Ledger argument.
Chris is biased on shit.
No. He's 0 for 1 in reboots. He tried to reboot Conan. Fuck that shit up.
Oh, that was bad.
That wasn't him. That wasn't his fault. That wasn't his fault. Bad writing, bad production, a low budget movie.
Look what happened to Daredevil and Ben Affleck.
Exactly. That was not the actor's fault. Actor can only do so much, you know.
But do we know Jason Momoa can act? Because in Game of Thrones, he grunts and speaks Dothraki. We don't know what the fuck he's saying. I mean, in Aquaman, we don't know. You know, because the Crow is pretty heavy.
A wet version of Khal Drogo.
The Crow is pretty heavy in dialogue, right? It's very moody. You know, and it's not like superhero action film like you would think.
I mean, I'd give it a chance, right? I mean, you know, I think JLS, you just said, like, you brought up Heath Ledger, and when he was brought up for the Joker, and everyone shit all over that, and turns out to be probably the best Joker we ever had on the silver screen, maybe next to Jack Nicholson, who knows? But the guy impressed, right? So who knows? Give benefit of the doubt. We hope that these casting directors and people that, you know, are chosen for these roles are going to perform, but, you know, sometimes reboots just don't work either.
But, you know, we'll have a better picture of him. Of Momoa after, you know, this weekend, you know.
Yo, bring back Sting. Play the Crow.
That'll give you a sign if he's okay or not. You know,
he's gonna come down from the Raptors with the bat.
Did you guys see the Ric Flair 30 for 30?
It was awesome. Shit, man. I gotta DVR that shit. I missed it.
Oh, it's awesome. It is. But Sting was on there, man. He looks old as hell.
Oh man. He's broken down now, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, what do you think, man? These guys those are all our childhood heroes, man.
Yeah, but it was funny, just to go off on a tangent a bit, but even Hulk Hogan was showing, like, he was like not his usual egotistical self, where he was saying, oh man, Ric Flair was the man. He was a much better wrestler than I was, you know.
And it's true. I mean, Hulk Hogan was all about the charisma and the look, where Ric Flair was putting in the work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But he would put guys over too, like, you know, he would, like, you know, let the young cats up and coming, you know. He was doing. It's a damn good. If you're a wrestling fan from that era, WCW, NWA, all that stuff, you need to peep it out. It's excellent.
Yeah, I gotta watch that, because I mean, I grew up. I mean, being, you know, up north and everything, it's just like, you know, WWF was the first thing you watch, but then, you know, get cable and all of a sudden you just see like this other stuff, and it's just
See, I grew up on TBS and WCW, you know what I mean?
WCW, Monday Nitro, my friend.
When I was living in Texas, I remember like the Texas regional wrestling that had like Dusty Rhodes and like Tito Santana and those cats, and you know, back then I thought the shit was real. I was like, damn, these motherfuckers gonna kill themselves.
Yeah, let me tell you something, man. That's better storyline back in those days than they have now.
Well, that was the thing. 100%. It was more about you know, the territories really made things. It made being a champion something that made sense. Like if you had a dude come in, like just like T-Bo saying, like, you know, you had Dusty Rhodes coming through, and he doesn't come through your town, but he's the world champion. That made it special to be the world champion. Now it's just like, you know,
and it's the Road Warriors, son, not the Legion of Doom.
Oh yeah, no,
absolutely.
No, the Road Warriors were from the Legion of Doom. See, that was a
Yeah, but remember they went to WWF and they changed their name to Legion of Doom.
Yeah,
but when
they originally were Road Warriors. Yeah,
They used to come
they
out
had to.
Iron Man. They used to come out to Black Sabbath and beat the shit out of people.
Okay. Yeah. All right, guys. Did you guys read Batman Who Laughs today?
I did.
I read it.
Yeah.
yeah, man. That thing was insane.
That's the only book I read out of all the fucking stacks of books that I have over there. I got like fucking over 100 books that I haven't read yet.
Oh wow, you're backed up. So we had the toilet earlier.
Nah, it was good.
Yeah.
Not bad. I mean, you like that creepy shit. It's all right.
Yeah. How'd you like it compared to the other one-offs for Metal?
Shit, I didn't even read none of the other ones.
All right.
I don't care. You guys can spoil it. I probably won't even.
It was like I was saying before, man. This guy, if nothing else, this guy's the star of that whole all of Metal. That's what Metal was basically made to bring Batman Who Laughs into the DC universe. That's it. So I mean, this one was better than the rest, and I mean, they fleshed him out and they did a good job of it, like basically going ahead and showing you how this Batman from this universe became the Batman Who Laughs. Like it's not like the other ones where it's like someone just kind of transitions into something. Like this is actually like the Bruce Wayne of that universe catches some spores from Joker and basically ends up becoming Joker. Like he becomes Batman Who Laughs. So it's kind of a combination.
So everybody compass,
So everybody on here read it? Did everybody on here read it already?
I read it.
I haven't read DC books in about a year.
No, I think so. Because this guy's saying
you try to call me biased.
It's better than, Chris is saying it's better than the other ones. So if it's better than the other ones, then I don't have to read the other ones then.
Oh no!
You can skip those.
Red Machine sucked. What's it called? The Drowned was terrible. What was the other one? The fucking
Red Death.
Red Death.
Murder Machine.
No, Red Death was good. What are you talking about? Red Death.
I like that was the first one. I liked Red Death.
No, Red Death was all right, but what's it called? The Drowned sucked.
No, the Green Lantern one was pretty good. The Batman Green Lantern.
Dawnbreaker.
Dawnbreaker
Dawnbreaker was good for the first 10 pages, then it got stupid.
You know what it is? I don't think you can really compare them to each other because each of them is a different member of the Justice League and how that Batman took over that Justice League member. So each one is different. The Drowned is obviously an Aquaman story. The Red Death is obviously a Flash story. The Batman Who Laughs is just the darkest story because it's going to deal with the darkest story because it has to do with the Joker. Joker stories, always are the more.
The thing about him is just that the Batman Who Laughs is more featured than Barbados.
Because he's the leader. He's the leader of that team. So that's why he's gonna be more. And it's more graphic too. How I don't want to spoil it for a lot of people because the book just came out yesterday. But what happens in there, what he does to the rest of the Bat family, that's insane to me. That's crazy. That book is insane. It was just I was like, wow, I can't believe
that one panel. I was like, what?
Yo, and you know what? And to think that people would, Marvel wouldn't write something like they were on that book. And I'm sorry to say, but that's what Marvel needs in the comics. They need stories like that to wow people when you're reading them, and that book delivers, man. Hey, Jeff, I was talking to Jeff about it yesterday, and he was like, "Oh, that book is probably overhyped or whatever." But it's not overhyped. We overhyped the Batman Who Laughs because we were looking forward to seeing how it's going to be different or how he becomes that Batman.
Yeah, I wasn't even going to pick that book up. Remember, I said I don't want that 100%. Shit. I was like, I don't want that stupid ass book. And I saw the cover, and then I was like, maybe I'll pick it up.
The thing that I worry about is, so like we've been saying with Metal in general, it's just like, you know what? They're constantly building towards something. Like there's always this build. And so, I hope that this wasn't supposed to be the payoff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I hope the Metal story has a little bit more to offer than just this one shot. Because, for everything they've been building, if they can take that momentum and do something really cool with it, as they, finish out that story, then, it's something where your opinion, you basically get rewarded for reading the whole thing. So I'm kind of hoping that that's what happens. If not, then I don't know. Just kind of.
I mean, to be honest with you, I only read Metal 1 and 2, and then I ain't even buy the other Metals.
They're only up to 3.
It's up to 3, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
But
so
I mean, Metal 3 was like, it was just like they haven't gone. They haven't really gotten to that point where it's like, all right, like this is where I see where it's all going. It's like they're still trying to get to, their destination. They're still trying to get you to where it is that they want to take you, and it's just taking so long to show. There's no like good stop along the way. It's just kind of just still that road to get there. It's just like
it's a real like in-depth story, and it's one of those stories like I think TiVo said this a few of his shows back. You can't really judge it until it's completely done. So then judge the story as a whole. So
just remember that they said about Secret Empire. Like, please just read the whole thing. Trust me, you'll like it at the end. Just give us a chance.
Yeah, but the flaws in Secret Empire is that you needed to read these tie-ins because critical things happened that you wouldn't understand in the main story, and that's not what's happening with Metal. With Metal, you can just read the main story and be okay with it. You don't really need to know the origins of the different Batman.
It helps to flesh them out, but it's not critical to the story.
Exactly, and that was the flaw in Secret Empire that you didn't know. You didn't know. When we found out about certain things was from other YouTubers that read the tie-ins and said, "Wait a minute, this is how Maria Hill got this, and how So then we're like, oh, okay, so now it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, what was the story where they had like all the fights like in the tie-ins? Like they would have like a quick little fight, but if you actually wanted to see the two characters fight, you had to buy the tie-in.
Yeah, it was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I think.
No,
well,
I think it was AVX.
A versus X that did that. So
yeah, that's right.
You mean
would
that
have all
story,
all the main storyline. Then they had like this mini series where they had all the battles, like Magic versus Black Widow and etc.
Yeah, it had the different rounds to it. It's like round 1 through 12.
Yeah. Hey, somebody actually found Immortal Men. You know that it's coming out pretty soon. A cover for issue number 3, drawn by Jim Lee, which has Batman who laughs on it. So in my mind, yeah, it pretty much confirms that he's going to be sticking around after this. I can show you it. It's one of those things where you see like the top in blue ink and stuff. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they said that there would be a couple of these characters that were going to stick around.
I'm counting how many issues there are in the story. There's 25 different books that this story consists of, and according to this chart that DC puts out, there is 1, 2, 3, 4. There's supposed to be 5 more left. There's 5 more left of these metal stories.
Yeah,
that's the original art published.
Yeah. Yep. This is for Immortal Men 3. Immortal Men 1 comes out in March, I think, of next year.
Oh, wow. That's a Jim Lee cover right there. Yeah, it's nice.
Oh, forget about it. Jim Lee owns that. He ain't selling that.
That's a $30,000 piece right there.
I'm gonna get Adam Hughes. Adam Hughes to sketch it for me for $1,000.
There you go.
It'll be up on the website.
Jim Lee said he has his original X-Men covers, from the 90s, but he's leaving that for his kids.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's pretty cool, though, right?
So how does he see through that, though?
He knows, man. He knows the game, man.
Oh yeah, these guys know, man.
Yeah,
he knows the game. Like you do that.
He knew the game when he was in Image. That's why he sold to DC. He saw a sinking boat and he said, "I can sell my property to DC and set myself up in a nice little position there." And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, he's a pretty smart business guy. He's one of the few from that original crew from Image that really had some business savvy.
Well, he had McFarlane.
Yeah, Todd is the other one, exactly.
Yeah, but Jim Lee has no choice but to be smart about business because he has 9 kids.
Yep,
it's true.
Damn, from the same woman?
Yep.
Wow.
Really?
Wow.
The same woman.
Because it's cheaper to keep them.
Oh,
she trapped him.
After like 5 or 6 kids, she probably pop out a baby in like 2 minutes of shit. She's like, I have flavor. Boom, there you go. All the pipes are all oiled up now. They just spitting babies out like in 2 minutes.
Well, but these guys know, man, because even Liefeld said he's got all his original art from Image from when they first started it. He says he's got like,
yeah, but nobody wants it.
You know, hey,
except Joe Quesada's cleaning lady or whatever.
Yeah, somebody's looking for that Brigade original art. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that would be awesome.
That young blood cover. I'll take that.
Yeah, exactly. That was the very first Image book ever published. I'll take that.
All right, guys. So we were talking earlier at the beginning of the show about how busy of a weekend this is going to be between Justice League. Punisher obviously is coming out. We got Justice League Day, I think, is tomorrow. And then we also have local comic shop day, which is coming up on the 18th. Are you guys doing that? Are you familiar with what they're going to have available?
There are some dope hardcovers that are coming out on Free Comic Book Day. So they're coming out with like new covers they're
Batman one.
Yeah, there's a Planet Hulk one too that they're coming out with a hardcover.
Yeah.
So they're
I like the cover on that one.
Yeah, they're basically reprinting these and then they're just slapping on a new cover on them. But there's some cool. If you could find some, if your shop is partaking in it, there's some really cool, hard to find shit. So make sure you hit up your LCS owner and put that aside for you.
Yeah, there's one you should ask for. I don't know if you're familiar with Sync through Comics Tribe. You heard of that one?
No.
I heard of it, yep.
Okay, it's by John Lees and Alex Cormack. It's this guy. Well, it takes place in outside of Glasgow in Scotland. And there's like a bunch of drug dealers and serial killers and stuff. And there's this guy named Mr. Dig, and he's got a shovel and like one of those fox masks. And it's just super gory, but he just goes around and just like fucks everybody up. It's good. I recommend it if you like that type of story.
All right, man. I recommend it to you, man. Leave that shit on the shelf.
No, I liked it. Anyways, there's a what they're calling a black limited black edition. It's going to be coming in like a bag, and that's only going to be available for this day. So again, if you like that, everybody other than Manny, might be something to worth.
Also Jesse, there's on that day there's going to be a Batman Hush deluxe hardcover edition that's got a new Jim Lee cover on it.
Yeah, that looks good.
I'm saying the Hush one, yeah.
That's on Comic Book Day, Free Comic Book Day next year, 2018.
No,
that's
local
this weekend.
Shop, yeah.
So what the fuck you said free? So what the fuck you said free comic book day?
Local comic shop day.
Yeah,
local.
CSD.
Yeah, so
that's
they're also
on Saturday.
Secret Weapons Deluxe Edition. This is off Comics, Tunes, and Toys webpage. So
Rick and Morty Treasury Edition.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Treasury. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like treasuries though because you can't store them anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. Where do you put them?
Nail that shit to the wall.
That's it, man. I'm gonna be at a con on Saturday, so I can't do fucking local comic shop day.
There's the Captain America. That's gonna be pretty hard to find. 1,000 print run, I think, for $6.95.
Remember last year? What was that? It was like the Wolverine.
The Wolverine one, yeah. It was all white.
Man, people are losing their minds over that book. See, local comic shop day. Let me look at the website and see what they because I know they get some crazy like 1 in fucking 1500s and shit like that. And I remember that Wolverine book was selling for like $100 on that day.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit,
that
Hush book right now for like $30.
The Hush hardcover, 15th anniversary. It's 1,000 print run.
Damn.
So that's
How much is it?
I don't know. I don't know. There's another one they're doing.
4 Kids Walking to a Bank too is going to have a limited exclusive.
50.
Yeah, 4 Kids 50? Walking to a Bank
for the Hush.
I don't know what the fuck this is. The Rise, whatever the hell that is.
Oh, Aftershock.
From the grave.
Johnny Wander. Yeah, that Captain America is pretty dope. It's only offered to a 999 limited print run for Captain America $395.
There's a Planet Hulk hardcover through Marvel, obviously.
Yeah, but I don't like the cover of that Planet Hulk. It looks.
Oh, and a foil cover. Yeah. Image Comics is releasing Maestros. It's a foil cover.
What is Maestros?
I have no fucking idea. Here, I'll read. Oh, here we go. It's from Steve Scrossi. He was a good artist. Remember, he did Supreme with Alan Moore on Youngblood.
Yep.
So Maestros and his entire royal family have been murdered. Now he's the fuck? I don't even know. This is like I'm supposed to already know what the ongoing story is. Well, okay. So Maestro is this entire royal family has been murdered. Now he's banished. Son from Earth will inherit the Wizard King's throne along with a spell that turns the user into God. Damn.
Oh, shit, sounds like Punisher, but magic.
Yeah.
And there's a
Magical,
weird WWE
wizards.
Royal Rumble print.
That's fucking retarded.
And a Power Rangers blind box.
Okay. There's a Star Wars Adventures variant cover for issue #1.
Oh, the Star Wars
Also,
Adventures, yeah.
yeah.
IDW, right?
And a weird
exactly.
Optimus Prime book called Optimus Prime First Strike.
Nice.
Oh, Justin.
Yo.
Robotech, the 4-pack.
Oh, cool.
Super pack, they're calling it. Yeah, they'll have that available with your girl.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I hope my LCS is participating. This is the first I ever heard of local comic shop day.
Oh, that's only it.
Yeah.
Where you at?
In Canada.
Oh, you're in Canada? Forget about it then.
Actually, on their website, it has all the participating stores.
No, Stadium Comics. Stadium Comics in Canada is participating.
Yeah,
That's
but
the only
Stadium.
place in the whole country.
In your country, yeah. I don't
Sorry,
know.
bro, you're deprived.
Deprived, yeah.
Well,
That's all right. He has free healthcare though.
Yeah, but
It's a trade-off.
Yeah.
Settle for that, I guess.
I would check with your shop. There's no telling. Even if they're not getting any of those books, they may still do something, you know?
Well, I mean, I'm not even sure if they're aware of it themselves, so I can at least go up to them and say, hey, did you know there's a local comic shop day? You guys should look into that for next year.
And that's literally the website for them to look at also.
Yeah. Are you in Ontario or Alberta?
No, I'm in New Brunswick, right on the East Coast. So I'm pretty handy to GPAP.
Right.
Like, I'm in GPAP territory on the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay, I'm not
Damn, you
seeing
far up there, man.
Saskatchewan,
Forget about
British
it.
Columbia.
GPAP can't even get a comic.
Fredericton.
Right?
You know Fredericton?
Oh, yeah, I'm an hour and a half drive from there.
Okay, well that's gonna be your closest then. Strange Adventures comic book shop.
Strange Adventures is doing it. Okay.
You take your snow sled that are dragged by dogs to the comic shop.
Yeah,
Put all
that's
my
right.
moccasins and go, right?
That's right. Put them Uggs on.
All right, guys. Well, that is going to be right around the end of the show here. And I do have to say, this is going to be not only our last show before Thanksgiving, but we're going to be taking off December. So we're taking a little bit of a break. It's the end of the year. I know. We'll be back. But we are going to we're going to do a review next Tuesday. Tuesday, I said, for Justice League. And then when Star Wars comes out in December, we'll do another Tuesday review show. That's gonna be great. Yeah. But then come January, we'll be back with our regular Thursday programming. So putting that out there for y'all. And yeah, this has been a fun show, fun way to kind of kick off the end of the year here. And I gotta tell all you guys right here, happy Thanksgiving. And thanks for joining.
Thanksgiving, man.
Yeah.
Happy Turkey Day.
Yeah.
Te pernil, cabrón. Con
pasteles.
Chinga tu madre.
Puta madre.
Hey,
Hey, yo,
yo,
people,
just talking Mexican.
everybody,
Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, don't be speaking that Puerto Rican shit around here. She ain't no good at Google. She's a Puerto Rican, I tell you. Hey, go peep out Four-Way Flashers video on the Jeff Johnson cover swipe.
Oh, God.
That was hilarious. Yeah.
That was fun.
Is he really a name we can trust? Is he really
like
about
a
the
voice
community?
actor for that shit? That was really good, man.
Oh, Larry, I saw Larry's too at the end of it. He's like, oh shit, it's not Canada. No, he's international. Fuck.
Yeah. At the end of it, I played the Canadian national anthem.
Yeah. That was funny as hell too.
I hope he didn't get mad at that.
No, he didn't. He was a good sport about it. He was laughing.
Yeah, I'm sure he cracked up about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, would he know? He ain't never on YouTube.
Make like video or two a year, and that's it. But that's our Jeff. Yeah. All right, guys. That's gonna be it for episode 64. Have 64. A good night.
Wow.
Yep. Go watch all your TV shows and your movies and all that good stuff this weekend. Have fun with it.
Everybody take a nap before you start binging The Punisher.
That's right.
Man, I still got to get on Stranger Things too.
Yeah.
Oh man,
You haven't watched it?
last night.
No, not yet. It's on my list.
Shit, I'm barely on season 1, episode 1.
Oh man,
I started it Friday. The Friday it came out, and I was done by like Saturday mid morning.
Nice.
I would have been. My wife was slow about it. She's like, "All right, we're gonna watch 2 episodes today." I'm like, "Oh my god, this is taking so long." But it was great though. Like it was really good, really good.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, guys, have a good night. See you
All
guys.
right, Justin, your
Bye,
books will be in the
everybody.
mail soon.
Oh, cool.
Peace.